Let's go.
Today is Monday, January 28th, just after 2 p.m. EST. I don't know if you've heard this, Tolga, but now we do also, it's
Let me
4
post this
p.m.
everywhere.
Brazilian time. We give
All right.
Brazilian time for our viewers for Marty.
Brazilian Standard Time.
Nice. I
And
love it.
just after 7 p.m. UTC for our Euros on the other side of the pond. What is up? How's it going, everyone? So today I'm going to give everyone a couple minutes before we get into things, but purpose of today's call is to go over kind of a retrospective of our last trading competition, talk about some of the development updates, MVP feature set, what to expect for go live on mainnet. We're going to have a beta trading competition, which will be the final competition we have leading up to our mainnet launch to test out some of the improvements we made on the back end and architecture of Cayenne. And then I'll give a little announcement on what to expect for mainnet going live, our closed beta. Tolga, how you been, man? It's been a while since you joined us on stream.
You guys sometimes allow me out of my hole, and then I can come in and come out of there and talk with you guys for a little bit. So,
well, you can join us any Monday, Wednesday, Friday that you just want to shoot the shit and get your mind in a non-writing code, banging your head about math on a table mindset.
No, I appreciate it. Sometimes it's tough though. You get into that mindset and it just kind of consumes you, and you're like, what day is it? You don't even know like what's going on. You're just multiple days into some project or upgrade or a feature enhancement, and I mentally just can't stop until it's complete. So. Yep. I mean, there's been a lot of stuff that we got a chance to kind of look at and fix and enhance during, after that first trading competition. So, been pretty busy.
How was the snow up there? We got obliterated where I'm at. It was, I don't know if I don't think I've seen snow like this since I was like a little kid.
How much you guys end up getting?
Total over the course of the last few days, I mean, probably over 2 feet, like total.
Oh wow!
Just over the last 2 days, because I'm like right off the lake, so like just over the last 2 days, I've had to go out and shovel like a few times each day because I'm inside working and I go out, to get some fresh air, take the dog out, and there's like 4 inches of really like light, fluffy snow, but it's already, back up. I have like the nicest neighbor in the world though. My snowblower broke and he knew that it broke. So every time that it snows, he does his driveway, then he does the sidewalk between our houses, does my driveway, and then goes back home.
I feel like every guy with a snowblower does that because he's like, all right, this is my one time that I get to use this thing. And there's one of our neighbors that does that. He does the entire sidewalk. He just goes and walks the entire neighborhood. He just does the whole thing because he's bored.
I don't live in a cul-de-sac. I live in like a dead-ended street, and he's done that before. Like when it's not too bad, he'll start at our side of the street and do the other neighbor on his side, and then just walk up and hit everyone. And that's what drove me to buy one. Actually, I felt bad after he did it the second time. Like, okay, I got to get a fucking snowblower. I can't have this guy, blowing my snow every time it goes down. And the thing is, he does this with other things too, like garbage day, recycling day. If you don't beat him out there, he's gonna pull your bins in.
That's funny.
It's just like he just wants to be nice.
But then you're lucky because you got a good neighbor, right?
Yeah.
So.
I was sending him cookies for a while and like baked goods and stuff, and then after he probably put on a few pounds from it. He was like, okay, man, enough of the treats for now. So
yeah.
I sent him a gift card to a restaurant last time. But all right, we got some people trickling in, so we will.
One thing before we start, the nat gas futures are up like something insane today, like 40% on the day. Nat gas futures.
Really? Jeez.
Yeah, they're up 240% in 10 days, not even including trading days since the 16th. So prepare. If you're Euro and you're a poor, just got worse. Euro poorer. Just got worse.
Yeah.
Oh man.
right,
When's
so-
the rally, Marty? When are we? We're being left out here. Everything's.
You're still trading that crypto thing? Isn't that thing like a scam?
They're gonna join us. There is
Is
no
that what
rally.
it is?
Yeah, it's digital lead, didn't you know?
They're-
It's all
I
relative
think
based,
that's
right? So when it crashes, and we're just flat. Well, I guess that's also a win. So maybe
And you also have to think, right? Like we're up. Bitcoin was $100 10 years ago, and now we're at
Sure,
88,000, and people are complaining. But we're missing out on a lot of capital since October or August, October.
uncorrelated returns, right? That's the silver lining of the situation.
We'll get our spotlight back to 120, and we'll get the spotlight. Once it's 200, people are like, "Oh, should have bought." How it always goes.
Yeah.
But ETH,
All right.
if you didn't know, it's a perfect stable coin.
It
It's
is.
flat over 5 years.
With all the volatility you can handle.
Yeah, with as much vol as you can trade, the returns are flat, and you have native staking. So this is a bonus.
It's competing with high yield savings accounts right now at around 4% yield. So
I mean, ETH is up 4% today, and it's still under 3,000. So,
Yeah. Oh man.
so good, so good.
all right, so now that we got some people in the chat in the call with us, today's purpose is to just kind of I went over it briefly, but we're going to run through kind of a retrospect to the trading comp. We have a our beta trading comp that we're going to do. It's going to be much shorter, about a week long to test out and make sure everything's stable from the changes we made after the last trading comp / behavioral stability audit, I like to call it. So first, I'll give a brief overview, like what is Kayan, right? Kayan is a derivatives exchange that we're building on Arbitrum. It is you could think of it as a V4 if you've been following us for a while from Premia, but it's a brand new exchange, brand new model. We've gone with a hybrid model this time. We're going to have some key standout tools that you'll be able to use, features, portfolio margin, combo orders, RFQ. And kind of the main goal here is to have an experience that's on-chain, on par with centralized exchanges, but with the transparency and flexibility that being on-chain kind of offers. So let's get into our last trading comp, right? I'll give you all some numbers. Pull up. So we just ended it last month. We had almost 7,000 users across the 4-week competition. Stage 2, which was our last 2 weeks, exceeded 140,000 BTC option contracts traded, 1.7 million ETH contracts traded, over 10.8 billion in BTC perp futures notional volume, 1.9 billion in ETH futures notional volume traded. And the cool thing about these stats is, although it was testnet money, these stats represent real usage across the product, strategies, and different risk profiles. We did extensive filtering to filter out duplicate accounts and any, I'll just say it, pardon my French, any fuckery that was happening during the trading competition. So these statistics represent the real users that were trading on the platform with the testnet capital that was given to them, which is pretty cool. So what is the point of these competitions, right? Like after the first trading competition, one thing was pretty clear. Real traders were using Kayan in real conditions, surfaced more insight than any internal test ever could. The activity, feedback, and energy from the community pushed the system in ways we couldn't replicate on our own. That gave us the idea that before mainnet, Kayan needed one more round of live stress testing, as we made significant changes to the back end between the trading competition and where we're at right now. So trading competition number 2 exists because the last one worked. It gave us critical feedback and data on how portfolio margin behaves under pressure, how options pricing responds to real strategy usage, and how multi-leg execution holds up when many traders are active at once. We were able to make significant improvements, and running other competitions lets us validate them and make sure the system performs as intended before real capital is involved. It's also about giving the community another chance to take part. We wanted to create one more opportunity for people to explore the platform, test strategies, and earn rewards for helping shape it. This is the last major test, as I said before we launch, and a final chance for traders to leave their mark on Cayenne before it goes live. That was a little excerpt that Linda, who works for us at Premia, wrote, and I thought it perfectly encapsulated the things that I wanted to say about why we did it. You heard me before. I kind of said, behavioral stability audit, and that kind of touched on that a bit. For the trader perspective, like they want to come, they want to try out a new platform, they want to earn rewards, maybe find a new home, a new venue to trade on. But for us as a team and development team, we want to know how, when users are interacting on the platform and real money's at stake, how the system's going to react to the load that we're taking on, what types of things people are going to do, types of strategies they're going to try to not necessarily exploit the system, but maybe exploit other traders and other positions, or push positions into ways that affect the overall risk engine and system. And it really gives us time to take all that in while observing human behavior, rather than how we think that humans will behave in a simulation. So we're going to do a round 2. This tool will be the beta, and it will be kind of testing out all the new changes that we made. So as I said, we had close to 7,000 participants over the last one, 6,600, I think, around that area. 25,000 USDC prizes have been distributed, as well as merch, crystals, and VIP status. And we gained a bunch of new friends in the community. If you're interested more about Cayenne, or you just want to talk to the team, feel free to join discord.gg/Cayenne. So let's talk about what's next. We got Tolga here today, brought him out of his hole, as you may have heard in the beginning, his whiteboard and developer hole. And he's going to go through just kind of some current development, the current development status, MVP feature set, and kind of what's next. Tolga, I'll pass it
Sure.
on to
Yeah.
you.
So like from now, a lot of these things I'm going to kind of address maybe like from the trading competition from a perspective of like the back end, like what we see, what we're looking at, what are the things that we immediately want to improve upon or mark as the reasons of doing these testnet competitions and ensuring that it's a success for us, right? And more so than just the idea of like, we're competing against each other for some prizes. For us, there's a lot of valuable information that we're trying to get from this that we can use to kind of enhance the system. As Cozy mentioned, there's a lot of valuable data that we can't necessarily produce ourselves easily. So one of the major things that we looked at and then, that we're addressing now for the second competition is really just around like the snappiness of the system. So when users come in to use the platform, obviously from a trading perspective, everything needs to be snappy. From the data that comes in, from the actions that you implement, such as trading or sending orders, everything has to be quick and responsive, right, while you're using it. So for us, a lot of the troubleshooting came down to where are the bottlenecks of data moving back and forth. Is it on the front end? Is it on the back end? And we're able to solve a lot of those problems and figure out where exactly we were hitting different bottlenecks that we couldn't figure out ourselves. And so over the last couple of weeks, a lot of the enhancement and work that we've been doing is making sure that snappiness is enhanced, right? And so what you're going to see hopefully with the second trading competition is the front end overall, the market data that you get, the portfolio data, of your trades and them filling and watching the fills and the snappiness between all of that, that's going to be more cohesive and more streamlined. And so that's going to be one of the first things you're going to notice. One of the other feedbacks we got as well was around execution and fill optimization. So with options order books, they're not as deep as they are with perpetual order books. And so because of that, that creates a unique problem of where when you're trying to fill an order and a market maker is canceling and replacing orders, there's a small window of time where there is an order that might not even be present there because the market maker has to cancel and then replace it with another order. And so if you have an in-flight order that's coming in, This can create some unexpected problems for you, slippage issues, not filling. And so what we ended up doing is we enhanced for market makers the ability to edit orders instead of canceling and replacing. And so this is going to be felt mostly on the options order books. And so what it's going to do is it's going to allow for much enhanced filling process where you aren't going to see any sort of errors in your execution process. You won't have to repetitively try to fill the same order because the market maker is bouncing their prices around while you're trying to click, market buy or market sell. And so that's going to be a really nice enhancement. And with that, which is kind of correlated with that, and with this fill and execution process, is around slippage protection. And so one of the things with slippage, it's a bit of a double-edged sword where you want to add protections in your system so that users don't get screwed over, right? But at the same time, you don't want to make it so restrictive that the users then can't actually take certain actions. And so this has been sort of this battle back and forth of how exactly do we fine-tune the slippage process? How do we ensure that we can give people ample ability to protect themselves so that they won't get screwed over on a fill, but at the same time give them that flexibility that they need, that, if I really need to get out of this position and I'm willing to accept that slippage, I'll just do it, right? And I'll take that. And so especially for trades like where there's combos and there's multi-legs that we're trying to fill on, the experience became a little tricky because between market makers editing or canceling and replacing their orders, and then that also triggering slippage max, thresholds, it created a bit of a user experience where users would have to process an order more times than we would like. So this is going to be the biggest enhancement as part of like the second trading competition, is making sure everything is just snappy and flows the first time that the user takes those actions. And again, from like a safety perspective of users, we talked about the slippage protection, but the other thing that we're doing that you won't necessarily see on the front end or as a user immediately is circuit breakers, right? Any exchange that's a legitimate exchange is going to need circuit breakers, and they're going to have protections in place to ensure that the capital on the exchange stays where it's supposed to, that all users are protected, and that every value that a user sees on the screen represents the true value of their equity, their positions, their P&L, et cetera. And so circuit breakers are going to play a vital role where we basically have them littered throughout our entire backend. And so if there's any anomaly that gets detected, immediately the circuit breakers will start going off depending on the severity of the problems that we identify. And so a lot of what we're working on before the mainnet launches to ensure that all these circuit breakers are in place. And ideally, if we can test them in the beta or the trading competition, even better, right? And so and that's really about it. Like in terms of like where we were focusing on things, the high level is that we're just really trying to optimize the current feature sets we already have, and we're trying to make the user flow for the user much more seamless. Some other things that we're looking for, like from a back-end perspective, like once we get up and running and we're live in production environment, some of the features that we obviously want to implement, and I know everyone's always eager to know like what's next, what are we going to be delivering on in the near future. Isolated margin is probably one of the easiest and lowest hanging fruits for us. We chose to go the difficult route. We went portfolio margin first, and then we do isolated margin. Usually people do it the other way around. The problem with doing it the other way around is it makes it more difficult to solve portfolio margin later if your isolated margin isn't set up the right way. So the way we wanted to do it was do portfolio margin first, which is a more complicated system design. And it's easier to fit a more simplified version of risk into that. And so isolated margin is going to be the one of the lowest hanging fruits for us to kind of tackle, and that's probably going to have the most impact on perp traders. And so, if some of you are out there who are predominantly perp traders and just use options as a hedging tool, this is going to be really useful for you. The other is the Arbitrum market. I know in previous conversations we've talked about what markets we'll launch with. As of right now, we're still using ETH and BTC as sort of the flagship markets that we're going to launch with. They're the most stable, most well-known. The oracles are the most robust. But in the pipeline is the Arbitrum token as well. And so I'm sure we've discussed this many times, but I'll kind of reiterate again on this one. The Arbitrum market's a unique one for us because Arbitrum doesn't have a known options market that we could create a stable oracle from. Blockshoals is our oracle provider, and they do a great job for ETH and BTC, and they've also now helped us with the Arbitrum market as well. But the way that they did it is it's a more standardized volatility oracle for altcoins in general. So R being one of them, this creates a unique opportunity for us where if Arbitrum options work out, we now have a more standardized oracle for altcoins in general that we can use for valuation of altcoin options. And so this is really exciting because if the Arbitrum market works out, that means it can work for several other markets as well. And so then our ability to kind of expand into other markets becomes much easier. And with the infrastructure built, the performance of the system, the safety of the system, adding additional oracles and adding additional markets will be very seamless, right? And so it's kind of one of those things where it's very slow and then it's all at once, right? Sort of how exchanges kind of work. They work to create that baseline, that stable point, and then adding new markets just becomes very easy, right? It's just a couple settings and parameters and tweaking. In a few weeks, you can kind of keep launching new products. And so that's really exciting. And so we're going to see how that kind of develops in the first chapters of being live. So I'll stop there. There's a lot. There's even more feature sets that I could talk about, but I think we can maybe reserve that for another call.
Yep. We can do that. Maybe right after the beta trading competition, so we can give some people, some leaders into what they're going to see then, which will probably be exactly what they see at the beta competition, but what will be our kind of main priorities and low-hanging fruit things that we'll have rolling out shortly after, as well as kind of a continued development basis. So the next thing I want to go over is just trading competition number 2, our beta. So we will be announcing the beta date within a week. That competition is going to happen this month. So if you'd like to be the first to know, follow our Twitter for announcements. You can be in Discord. We'll announce it there. But that will be coming this week or within the week that you'll hear a date from us. It just got reposted. I'm like, who said what? We'll have 250K.
Yeah, we're going to
crystals up
update
for grabs.
the day this week.
Winner will get Cayenne VIP, and top 10 will get exclusive merch. So when I say Cayenne VIP, I'll kind of run through like, what that entails. It's a program designed to recognize and reward our most active and impactful members of the Cayenne community. They'll receive exclusive benefits such as 0 trading fees for a period of time following mainnet launch and direct access to the Cayenne team through dedicated communication channels. So it'll be like a white glove program for our high value traders, contributors from the community, and friends of the protocol, like our partnering protocols. So after that, we have mainnet. So the mainnet closed beta, it will have limited access waitlist. We'll put a waitlist up. We'll get some addresses, emails if you'd like us to email you updates. It'll be for active community members, our protocol or industry, friends, people that are building in the industry, and traders who have participated in our alpha or shown interest during our lull period between the alpha and our beta going live. Our launch is projected shortly after trading competition number 2 concludes. So there aren't going to be there's nothing else. We're going to get this final beta to test out the new improvements that we have. And then shortly after that, mainnet's going live. You can expect a Q1 launch from us this year. So you will get to trade on Cayenne while there's still snow on the ground for those of you being hit by massive storms.
Yeah.
Sorry, what snow?
Be a lot shorter.
Yeah, what snow? Brazilians know nothing of the snow.
Yeah, I've never
This
seen
one's
it.
gonna
Sorry.
This one's going to be a lot shorter than the previous competition. Just 1 week, 250K crystal. So make sure make sure to pay attention because we're going to announce it this week when exactly it's going to be. And you don't want to miss any day in the competition because it's going to be so short.
Unlike a
Yep.
last competition that spread 4 weeks, 2 epochs, this one's going to be short. As I said, we're just trying to test out some of the new changes that were made, make sure everything's in a good, stable place for mainnet to go live. We know everyone's excited. Everyone's waiting for that. We are as well. And we do not want to keep you waiting too much longer.
I'll take the blame for not having the date because there was, in full disclosure, there was a date that was set and then I put a pause on it because from a team perspective, we need to make sure that we're all in sync from, back to front in terms of everything being out and all the features and everyone pushing their last bit of code in, for the trading competition. So we do have a very narrow date in mind. It's just the exact date. I didn't feel comfortable giving until we checked with the rest of the team. And so that's just the reason for that. I know it's a bit of a teaser. And I know the guys on this call wanted to give out a specific date, but so I'll take the blame for that one, but it'll be out real soon.
It's okay. We forgive you.
It's
Yeah.
I've talked about this a lot with Parliament over the last year. Through changing of timelines or just expected timelines, and they all understand that we've watched too many projects to even count over the last year and a half that have gone live, have rushed to go live, and they're going offline or they're having server issues, new exchanges that are popping up where people are funds are frozen and they just have to wait. And that's not an experience we want to bring to our users. That's not our existing users. That's not an experience we want our first time users to have. So it's really important that we get this right. So to us, it's like announce a date and rush things, or make sure everything's good and give you guys a date so that development team's comfortable with all the code that's been pushed. And what's another few days?
No, I think on that end, you just want it to be solid, right? You don't want to push out a worse product, and you want improvements from the generation before, giving users a better experience and something to look forward to for when mainnet launches. I think we should clarify that the 1 week trading competition 2 is on testnet, so anybody can participate. Anybody could win that VIP tier and win all the good prizes, and then come mainnet, bring your chip stack and come and play.
That's a great point. It's riskless, right? You don't have to.
Yeah.
You don't have to put anything on the table.
Yep. The only thing you're spending is your time.
Got plenty of that. The market's not doing anything, so
Yeah. If you haven't been all in precious metals, you have plenty of time right now.
dude, every time I call Dime, he just it's just screaming silver. He just leaves me voice messages of just buy silver for every
What
day.
about
Just
gold?
no,
Does he have any
he's a
gold?
silver maximist.
Yeah, you see, I hear gold all the time, Denton. My family are in the jewelry business, so they are always asking me, Cozy, you see the price of gold?
I sold all my
No,
gold
you
at
ever-
4,000.
Did you?
You ever held a silver coin versus a gold coin? Which one is more fun to hold?
The gold coin is much more fun to hold.
I think the silver
Shiny.
one's fun because you can hold 1,000 gram. You can hold a kilo bar for
yeah.
$5,000.
I feel kind of
But imagine
sheepish for
holding a
selling too
kilo bar
early.
of gold.
Would you sell 4K?
Yeah,
you
well, I
sell
think
that
something
thing,
like that. Yeah, like you guys
when it
ever
dumped?
take your you ever take
After
your jewelry to one of
4,200 it
those?
dumped, right?
What's that?
After 4,200, it dumped.
I don't remember. It wasn't
right?
it was actual physical jewelry. If you guys have ever done that, where you just take like my wife has collected a bunch of jewelry over the years, and then we for our wedding, traditionally they'll give gold as well versus cash, and so we had all these gold coins that we were holding on to, and
Nice.
we're
How
like,
much
all
below
right.
spot did they
Yeah.
sell you? did they buy?
Oh, I'm sure.
What was
Of course,
the
they take a spread. Yeah, it's not a. You can't really make a profit trading physical gold. Those guys they rape you. I'm pretty sure we paid like, like a 10%
Yeah.
commission on like,
Yeah,
because there's like meltdown costs
honestly,
and stuff, and like,
I've heard worse than 10%.
Most the bullion guy that I talked to, he pays like 1.5% or something. So like if you can get 2% spread, like that's a really good deal. So like if you paid 5, that's pretty normal. It's not like getting hosed too bad.
yeah, I think it comes down to the smelting or whatever they call it.
Yeah, they lose some of the gold in the melting process too.
Yeah, I looked it up when we were doing it, and I forgot what the exact industry number was, but yeah, it's generally pretty efficient. I feel like every place was giving like the same.
It's only 25% higher since you sold. So
Yeah. I mean, if you net what I sold it at, if you take their commissions out, it was probably more like 3,500.
yeah,
Well, whatever. Now it's time to start looking around for silver in my house, right? I'm like, hey, mom, that silver plates.
Yeah, all the silverware.
It's the waterfall effect. Then you're going to be looking for copper next.
I got a bunch of wires in my house. We can strip them. I don't need electricity.
Oh man.
All right, if we don't have any questions from the chat, we appreciate you all stopping by. For anyone that stopped by late, this is recorded. It will be live on our YouTube. Actually, did I change our YouTube yet? It might still be at Premium Finance, but I'll have to look at that. If you check our YouTube channel, though, this will be live there. You can obviously check the stream still on X. It'll be there.
Mm-hmm.
We will be
the
back
recording will be on X.
on Wednesday morning for Eden, Wednesday afternoon, streaming from Premia with Block Shoals. So we can talk a bit about their new Oracle maybe on that call.
I don't know if you want to join. It's 2 p.m. Eastern, Tolga.
Yeah, you're free to
I
join
might
on
be
Wednesday.
back in my hole trying to get stuff done for you guys so you solidify that date for the trading competition.
The door is open. If you
The doors.
decide
Thank
to-
you
yeah,
guys. Thank you.
You're more than
I appreciate
welcome.
it.
Wednesday, 2 Eastern, we will be going live with Block Shoals. And then Friday, of course, we'll be back for Eden. Stay tuned. We will have an announcement for the announcement, as everyone loves, coming this week. So you can get ready, get prepared, get hyped for our final beta trading competition before mainnet goes live. Thank you again, everyone. Have a wonderful